Hello, and welcome to the Artist Pivot Podcast. I am your host, Ayana Major Bay, and I am thrilled to have the incredibly talented Alexis Tidwell Bailey on the show. Alexis took a pretty unique path into the theater world, jumping into acting with zero preconceived notions or baggage from traditional training. Her journey underscores the importance of diverse pathways into the arts. As an aspiring choir teacher who was encouraged by her then boyfriend, now husband, and theater mentors, Alexis took bold steps, moving to New York and taking risks to chase her newfound dreams. We'll dive into Alexis's experiences, discussing the importance of representation, the power of self-discovery, and the significance of staying open to possibilities. Alexis shares her insights on learning through self-teaching, tackling societal pressures, and the value of flexibility while pursuing one's dreams. Join us as we explore how listening to your heart and not being limited by fear can lead to remarkable pivots in your artistic journey, which without, Alexis wouldn't be the star of the children's show Mimi's Costume Closet today. Whether you're an artist, a creative, or just someone looking for a bit of inspiration, this episode is packed with real talk and motivational vibes. Let's get into it. Come take a listen and let your inner artist play. Creating your dreams step by step every day. If you're feeling lost and don't know what to do, always remember that you can pivot to the Artist Pivot. The Artist Pivot. Hello, and welcome to the Artist Pivot Podcast. I am your host, Ayana Major Bay, a multi-hyphenated artist, and I am glad you are here. A couple housekeeping things before we get into the conversation. First, to keep up to date on all the things happening with the podcast, subscribe to the monthly newsletter at ayanabay.com/podcast. Second, to show your support for the show, you can get podcast merchandise at ayanabay.com/merch. And third, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and share this with at least one person. Enjoy the episode. We Audition is the video chat community where actors can audition, self-tape, rehearse, and get expert industry advice. Get instant self-tape readers through video chat, browse through the dedicated actor meditations, podcasts, and books, meet casting directors in the virtual green rooms, and also make money by becoming a reader for other actors. If you join We Audition and use code PIVOT, you will receive a 25% discount on your membership. Link in the show notes. All right, y'all. So today on the podcast, I am so excited. See, I'm stumbling over my words. I can't even say excited correctly. I am excited to say that joining me is Alexis Tidwell Bailey. And y'all, if you're not watching the video, you can't see the smile on my face. You can't see the smile on Alexis's face, but we're ready. Alexis, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're so very welcome. And I'm going to start with my two favorite questions. So, number one is, have you had enough water today? How are your hydration levels?
So, as I look at my bottle right now, it says you're doing great. But you're doing, maybe I have. Oh, no, I'm about a fourth of the way in when I should be half of the way in. So, no.
Fair. Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to go ahead and
sip. I'm going to sip too. I have my little,
Hello. So, no, but I'm on my way.
Yes. Amen. Can I say that I'm on my way? I don't know. I filled this up, but I've had a coffee and I've sipped on this. So... I'm somewhat on my way. If I'm honest, I have not had enough water today. I know that. I am full transparency. Nope, have not.
Well, acknowledgement is you being on your way. You are on your way.
I am on my way. Thank you for that.
And you just took 2 sips.
I did just take 2 sips. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yes. And my second question to you would be, if I were to text you right now and say, Alexis, how are you? How you doing? How you feeling? But you could only respond in emojis only. What would you text me?
Oh, let me see, child. What is... Let me look at the emoji options. All right. I would give you the this.
Yes, the
I
hearts.
give you the that. That's
Thanks.
where I'm at.
I appreciate that, the hearts. And I'd text you right back some hearts as well.
Yes.
Oh.
In a loving space.
Yes. Very much in a loving space. Yes, I love it. Thank you for that imaginary text. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for responding. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Yes. So, y'all, I wanted to bring Alexis on the show to talk about her pivots and her navigation of this crazy career, specifically, more theater and now on the television, y'all. She's on television.
That's wild.
She's on television. So we're going to talk about how you got there as well, which I'm so excited and so proud of you. And yes. I'm so here for it. You're welcome. So my question to you would be, I know that you started out as a choir teacher, right? And so I know that where you are on your journey right now is not necessarily something that you saw in your future. So my first question to you would be how did you make that transition, the choice, and ultimately the pivot to go, I'm not going to be a choir teacher anymore. I think I'm going to be an
actor. So one of the biggest things that I had to my advantage before even getting to how I did the thing is I didn't have the weight of theater school and no shade to theater school. Go get your education.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you know that early what you want to do and you got the means to, get all of that training right there, do it. But there's a lot that I see with a lot of my friends that some of their teachers who were of a different theater generation, not like life generation, but class of theater, taught them some things and maybe taught them their own fears and things like that. I wasn't subjected to that. I came literally with no concept whatsoever of the theater world. So,
wow. Can I just pinpoint that for a sec? Because I felt that like you putting it that way of feeling the pressure of going through theater school, which I did, getting a BFA and then a master's as well. But there is that pressure and there is a way we were taught.
Yeah.
And you came in with this is what I'm coming in with, which is me.
Right. And I'm just coming in doing what me and my older sisters used to do in the living room. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so very long story short. The real fuel behind that is first my husband, who was my boyfriend then, him showing me even within his own life and his own career how to fearlessly pivot and shift.
Yeah.
But also having mentors around me who had already done the thing, saw me doing the thing on a community theater level and was like, oh, Alexis, if you want to do this professionally, you actually could. You just got to move to New York. So if you want to know more, we can show you more. We'll teach you, we'll show you the steps, but it's up to you. So, yes, long story short, I was in my last year of grad school. So I got my master's degree in music education, choral music education. And it was the last summer before I graduated. It was the first summer where I was like, I'm not going to school. I'm not working. I'm just going to live off of my financial aid and just rest because I've been going since preschool up until this point, just working. And at a church, I was at church and a guy that is at my church, he wrote plays all the time. He was like, hey, I'm actually going to put one of my plays up, but there's this one character that I know you don't act, but can you just do it? It'll be fun. And I was like, yeah. So I did it. And somebody was there that is friends with the artistic director of the local community theater and was like, hey, we're looking for Dorothy and the Wiz. You should audition. I said no. And then one day I got out of class early and I was like, okay, well, I feel like singing. So I'm going to go to this little audition, keep in mind, I know nothing about headshots. I know nothing about resume. I don't know anything about 32 bar cuts. I don't know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that my mother liked to hear me sing "Listen" from Dreamgirls movie. At this point, I don't even know anything about, the musical itself. Well, I know it exists at that point, but I'm not part of the world. So anyway, I ended up getting it, and I was like, so after my audition, I was like, yo, all of a sudden, there's literally nothing else more I want in the world than this thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening? And so then I got it, and they were like, hey, we want you to be Dorothy. And I remember being with my boyfriend, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm excited. I get to do this thing that, I've been just pretending to do with my sisters, and now it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no stakes involved. It wasn't a paid job. It was just something fun.
Yeah.
But it was during the semester. And so I was like, okay, well, I know how to work hard. I also pledged to sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I know how to do this one thing and also keep my schooling up at the same time. So anyway, the director, Reggie Law, pulled me to the side and was like, hey, yeah, Alexis, you could do this if you want to. And then another theater veteran who moved back to Tennessee after he decided to, take it a little more easy, pulled me to the side and taught me about Playbill and Broadway World and all that stuff. And he was like, if you really want to do this, just submit for everything and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I did that. And then I ended up, and I told myself, I said, okay, if you don't get a job teaching with 2 degrees and a teaching license within a year, that's the Lord telling you, go to New York and do it. Because that's not really something that you take lightly when you have spent and I have spent my whole life training to be a vocalist to some extent.
Yeah.
I spent my whole life learning music. And then I spent, 6 years learning how to teach it. So I'm thinking I'm preparing for a career as a choir teacher. And so, that's not something you just, drop everything and go. So I gave myself a year. I was still submitting for all the things. And within that year, child, I got a call center job. Not a teaching job. A call center job. And I was like, okay. Oh, but I did book a show. I booked a show at a theater called Gretna Theater in Mount Gretna, Pennsylvania. And I was like, okay, cool. So anyway, fast forward, everything was set up for me to leave. I didn't realize that. My rent had went up $300 a month because of new management. Everything was just going kind of haywire. And my boyfriend, now husband, was like, Alexis, you don't have a husband. You don't have a child. Sell your furniture. Take anything that you actually want to keep to your mother's house, because my mother's wedding was going to be the prior weekend.
Yeah.
And he's like, and go to Pennsylvania, just don't come back. And I was like, oh, all right. That's crazy. Tears falling out my face, literally just dried up. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do that. And I went, I stayed on my sorority sister's love seat, not couch, love seat. And thank God for Natalie. She gave me that space, and I was in Newark. So anyway, that's how I ended up here. And so after I got done with that show in Pennsylvania, I then 2 months later booked Norwegian. And then I got off on Norwegian, and my boyfriend moved up with me. He proposed. We got married. Then I was on Beautiful Tour. Yeah. So, I mean, there were other shows in between.
Yes.
But yeah, you see how I got there.
Yes, I do see how you got there, which is, I mean, that's an incredible leap of faith. Like you said, you were preparing for a completely different career, and then it's like, but no, I actually really want to do this. Like, you were bit by the theater bug, as we say, and it was like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. And so now, how do I do that? And like, I thoroughly believe that like some of us, and I'm going to take this from my own experience, like we sometimes don't want to move, but like God has to move you. So that stuff went haywire. Your apartment, like all of those things that was like, oh, I need to make a change and something needs to happen. It's kind of like, okay, well, what decision are you going to make? Your hand was being forced.
Ooh, yes. And I didn't see it. But the people that loved me around me saw it.
Yeah.
The closest person to me saw it very clearly. And sometimes that's what it takes. Because we get in survival mode and we hold on so tight to these expectations and things that we think how it's supposed to be that, God ain't got you ain't giving no room for the Lord to come on in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so sometimes he speaks through other people. I was grateful for that. Also, like the type of courage that it takes from a boyfriend to say that to their girlfriend. Go to New York and you live in Tennessee. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now that you say it, it is a little crazy.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, he's like, but again, he saw it.
Yeah.
He saw it and he was brave enough to say it to you.
Yeah.
Like, you should go to New York. You should do it.
But also, he had the experience of doing the thing himself. When we first started dating, his whole life he drew. Always drawing. And in college, he pledged Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And he would always make the flyers for his chapter and all those things. But he went to school for psychology. And so then he became a teacher, special education teacher, but also building his design company at the same time. And then one day he just woke up and was like, I think I'm done. And then just was done. And then did the design thing full time. And all these years later, here we are, 12 years later, he's now doing that. But I watched him just decide to just be done.
Yeah.
So fearlessly.
Yeah. Ooh. But there is that where you just have to decide. Like you just have to decide, period. And even you say fearlessly, but I think there always is there's a little bit, because we're human. There's a little like, ooh, but I think it's when you're like, I'm done. When you hit that point, fear can't even, I'm done.
The word fearlessly is so, that's not even really, we don't even need to use that word anymore, honestly, because that's like you're saying, no, it's in spite of fear, with fear.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. With the fear. Yes. Absolutely. What is the saying? Feel the fear and do it anyway?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the fear, it's a survival response, but
it
can also get in our way.
It gets in our way because we're always in survival mode. And I don't know who actually said this. I'm going to give credit to Moo Fresh because I heard it off of one of her songs.
Okay.
But fear is false evidence appearing real.
Ooh.
Sit
I'm
on
going to keep that with me. It's echoing right now.
Yes.
False evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
And I don't know who Moo Fresh is, but I need...
she's a fierce artist, Moo Fresh. She's fierce. I heard her... When did I hear? I discovered her a couple years ago. What was it? Oh, Black Girls Rock. Who produces Black Girls Rock? Oh, shoot. Is it BET? It's BET,
I think so.
Yes. She performed on it. And I was like, who is that?
I'm going to have to get on her. Matter of fact, I'm going to write it down right now.
Moo Fresh. MU Fresh. She has it, yeah. I'm going to give her credit because that's where I heard it from. So I'm going to give her the credit. But it's fear, false evidence appearing real.
Work. I love that. But yeah, that's the thing. You just... Fear is almost irrelevant at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is I didn't have fear. I didn't know enough. I did have fear. It's more, I guess, trepidation because I don't know what's before me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I knew... also, the stakes were a lot lower. I wasn't as young as everybody else going into theater, but at that point, I was still significantly younger than I am now. Didn't have any baggage, didn't have anybody depending on me.
Yeah.
I'm a stepmother of a 16-year-old now. So things are a little different, but
right.
Yeah.
Yes. Now it's a little different. I got you. So then with that, with the progression of your career, you are now the star of a children's television show.
Wild.
What, right? So take me through how that even unfolded.
Yeah. So I just come back from Oregon doing Rent at OSF, and my agency had gone through some changes, my talent agency. And so my agent retired, and they brought in a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
Phenomenal talent, Jimmy Larkin at Telsey. And I had Jimmy for a split second, but Jimmy was able to connect me with this company that was looking for a female presenting person to host this random children's show. I was like, I don't know anything about this, but I know that I'm now getting TV and film auditions, so I'm going to do it.
Right.
And it was in the middle of the strike.
Okay.
And it was non-union. And I was like, okay, I'm not in a position to turn down auditions, so I'm going to do it. And I had fun. And something about it felt like a marrying of what I do now to what I did before theater, music education.
Okay. Yeah.
And I ended up booking it. And I was like, excuse me. I was like, I don't know anything about this world.
Yeah.
Children's television, but I do know what it was like for me to sit in front of the TV as a child and watch Blue's Clues I was a little old for Blue's Clues, but I watched it.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading
because I just watched that documentary on Hulu. Just so you, it was. I cried.
Oh, of course you did. How can you not? Oh, or like Eureka's Castle,
yes.
or Under the Umbrella Tree,
yes.
or all of those shows.
Gullah
Adventures
Island.
in Wonderland. Oh, Gullah Island. Oh my gosh. You see what I'm saying? And so it just so happens that the production company are made up of millennials like me.
Yeah.
And as they were building this show, they're coming from their perspective of that, also thinking about, what children's television looks like now.
Yeah.
And I'm coming with all I know is what I watched and what my stepson watched. And that was dope. So that's where I'm coming from. But that's how it happened. And we actually just wrapped yesterday, season 2. Yeah. Or we wrapped filming season 2.
Yeah. I love that. And it's called Mimi's Costume Closet, right?
Mimi's Costume Closet.
I love it. So what is the premise of the show?
So the premise of the show is that Mimi is a costume designer. She makes costumes, and every episode she chooses a different occupation to create a costume for, and she invites her friends, the audience, to come and play dress up with her, and we go on adventures, and we learn things. We learn what it's like to be a dentist, or even sometimes it's not an occupation. Sometimes it's things like a cat, or a dog, or a firefighter. So we do those things, and then we learn sometimes about our emotions. Sometimes we remind ourselves how to count. We look at shapes, things like that. And how to just be yourself. The overarching theme is we get to play dress up. We can put on whatever we want to put on. But there's nothing better than you.
Yeah.
There is no you. There is no other you. I love playing dress up. But guess what? Miss Mimi is ready to go back to being Miss Mimi. And you can't be Miss Mimi, but you can be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much.
And they get to see it from a Black woman, a natural Black woman, natural-haired Black woman, which, have your hair however you want to, because my hair will do what I feel like it to do today. But imagine being a child and seeing... You see? No, there are no words for that.
No, there are none. Because today, I am 37 years old. Today, when I see a Black woman on the screen, I still get choked up. like in her glory, whatever her hair is doing, Afro puff, twist out, braids, whatever her hair is doing the thing. I'd be like, yes.
And it's the representation of it all.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what Miss Mimi does. She just has a good time, just playing.
Yeah.
But also reminding these kids that these children, my grandmama would get me together for saying kids.
Kids, right.
Yes. So reminding these children that, you can try it all on.
Yeah.
But find yourself in the process.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, y'all, that's going to be the quote of the episode. You could try it all on, but find yourself in the process.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Alexis, that's your quote. That's it. I got to give you a hand clap on that. That's a whole word.
It's a word.
That's a whole word.
I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
Listen, okay? I love it. Oh, I love that so much. And about I think as adults, we forget that. And I think there's just so I'm going to take it out. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So as adults, but also as adults in the entertainment industry, there's a lot of pressure. And I think that sometimes we do forget, you can try it all on. No one says that you have to do one thing, but also don't forget to discover yourself in the process and to continue to discover yourself. And so that kind of leads me to my question of what have you discovered about yourself over these years and in your changes?
I've discovered that I don't have to choose one.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can do it all. We're taught that, you find an avenue and you stick to it. On a broader scale, you find your career. And because of our parents' generation and our grandparents' generations, the goal was to get a really stable job, work there for the next 30 years, retire with money that you are not healthy enough to spend. That's a whole other conversation.
That part, yeah.
Come back to it later. But, I don't have to choose between being a music educator and a onstage theater actor. I don't have to choose between musicals and straight plays. I don't have to choose between stage and TV film. I can do it all. I don't have to choose between being Dolores Van Cartier and being Mimi in her costume closet.
Right.
I'm not allowing anybody to put me in a box. I can do it all at the same time if I want to.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, that's what I've learned in this process, because even with the pivot, the big initial pivot from education to theater, it was like, oh, well, I can't teach and act at the same time. Then I discovered, I can give voice lessons. And then I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like, no, I can do all these things. And as an ambitious person, I tend to just fill the pot, and try to force the lid on it. So I have to be aware of that, self-care. But I don't have to decide right now, I'm doing Miss Mimi's costume closet. Okay, acting has to go on the shelf for now because this is how people will see me. No, they can see me as all them things because that's who I am.
Period.
And that's what I'm capable of.
Absolutely. And I will say to you, because I had to remind myself of this daily, weekly, that when I was younger, my father used to say, can't isn't in your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Can't isn't in your vocabulary. So I don't know what word you need to replace it with, but I can tell you right now, can't ain't in your vocabulary.
Period. I love that. Find something else to say.
But that's it. I think I will say, when you brought up about, the past generations, that that's what they were taught. I always try to have compassion for that, to be like, oh, that's what you were taught. I no longer believe that, but I know you still operate in that mindset. So I have to be mindful when I'm talking. Oh, I did this and did it. And I'm like, oh, you didn't have the same opportunities that I have. and speaking in terms of more of like when the YouTube has come out and social media and like podcasting, I have the capability. We're recording this podcast virtually. Like,
yeah,
that wasn't a thing in the 60s and 70s. Like there was radio, yes, and like you could become a disc jockey on but it's completely different now. And so the technology advancements has definitely helped our generation realize that can't isn't in our vocabulary, that we don't have to be limited to one thing, that I picked one avenue and now I'm going to go down a side street that is still connected to this avenue, but I'm on the side street doing something else.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Can't is not, I love that so much. I can do what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Whatever interests me right now.
Right. Right. And whatever interests you, like not anybody else, not someone you see, oh, well, maybe I should do it like that person. It's like, no. What interests you is what you're doing. And I think that's also why, Mimi's Closet came into connection with you, because it's like, oh, no, that fits you.
Yeah,
that fits
some
who
kind
you
of
are
way.
And what you do.
Some kind of way. It is so very Alexis. I don't know how, it all came together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It is the play of it and the singing that is interwoven in, and also, childhood education.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah. It's all of those elements in one thing. And again, you are the type who's like, well, I'm going to just say yes. Like, I don't even know what's about to happen, but I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Now, mama is a little, I will research something until I go down the deepest of rabbit holes. Because I know I need to know what I'm getting myself into.
Fair.
But yeah, if I see no reason not to, yeah, let's try it. Why not? Why not? And I'm not letting somebody else's fear. I'm not going to adopt someone else's fear, about it. And that's kind of something that I had to keep in mind too with the initial pivot is I can take people's perspectives, but I'm not adopting your fear about it. I'm not adopting anybody else's fear about the move, about the career transition, about the broadening myself to other genres of media. I'm and I do think that there's something to, not to get too deep, but seeing how something resonates in your body when you think about it and you put yourself in that space and you're not sure if you want to do that thing. How does your body feel?
Yes.
Do you feel sick? Do you get a headache? Do you get dizzy? Or do you feel light? Do you feel buoyant? Do you feel excited?
Yes. Yes, I do know. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Your body will tell you yay or nay.
Sure
it will tell you, like you said, are you light from, or do you feel safe? Like you're like, oh, this is it. Or do you have a knot in your stomach? Are you like, oh, no, I don't think I should be doing this. Like your body will tell you.
Sure will. But that's not to be confused with fear.
Oh, right. Yep.
Not to be confused with fear. Because sometimes we can, our brains can get too going too fast,
betraying us sometimes.
Do. Absolutely.
Yes. But yeah, it definitely listening to your body and your heart. And even because we said earlier, we're in a space of love. When something really does resonate with you, it very much is do I feel that in my heart? How does this make me feel? I do love this. Okay, this is for me.
Yeah.
And run with those moments, because life be lifing, and you got to run with those moments.
And it's gonna life whether you do what you want to do or not. It's gonna do what it do.
Ooh, that. So why not do what you want to do? Because life finna do what life's gonna do
every single time. Ooh, child.
It will. It really will. It will. So my question to you would be then, what would be your nugget of wisdom, your word of advice for other artists, creatives, those who want to follow their heart, those who are like, me and fear have to break up, and those who are like, nope, can't's no longer my vocabulary? What would be your word of wisdom?
Honestly, would say what we've been saying. Do it anyway. Don't wait for fear to disappear, because it won't. It'll always be there until all of a sudden you do the thing, and then your internal self, your, untethered soul, is like, see, we didn't have anything to worry about. And the fear just floats right on away. Just do it. Don't, don't latch on to other people's opinions to the point where you adopt their mindset, or you adopt their fears, or you adopt their jadedness. Spend some time in meditation, prayer, whatever quiet space you need. Get connected to that internal self that doesn't feel fear, that is just witnessing what you are going through right now. That's who you are. Go to that person who is also in connection with God, and commune with that, and see what it is. Is that the thing that you really want to do? If fear wasn't a thing, that you would do that? Go. Just go.
Yes.
And if you don't have what it takes, now do your research. Don't be, you know what I mean? Like,
right. We're not saying just run in blind.
No, I'm not about to decide tomorrow that I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. No.
Right.
Learn the thing.
Right.
Because that's the thing too. In that year where I was waiting to see if this is what I wanted to do, I was researching what are some of the books that people who go to these theater schools, what are they reading? What are the articles that they're reading? What's their curricula? I wanted to take myself through those things, and I wanted to learn, because I'm also that person that I constantly want to learn something new, and it'll be some of the most randomest topics. I will just get like, it would serve us nothing for me to run down the list of random things that I've just looked up, but that's part of the thing that I think a lot of master's programs teach you, is how to research. And so I just looked it all up and taught myself, and looked at YouTube videos and taught myself, all kinds of dance things, you know what I mean?
University.
Hello? Right there for free.
Yes.
And I went to real libraries too. I did all of that. So study, learn the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
And if you and also keep going in the process. Like, don't wait for yourself to arrive to a particular point. Just go. Just do it. I hadn't done a single professional show before moving to New York. Not one. Not one. So, oh, my dog.
That's your dog agreeing with you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
She's
like,
we live in the New York, New Jersey area, so
there's things
sounds
outside.
Make dogs bark.
Right, dogs, exactly. Who's at the door? What you
right?
doing?
Somebody walked in downstairs.
Sounds of life, y'all. Sounds of life. But wow.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. With acknowledging that it's like you still have to learn. And you have to put in effort, but it's just doing it. Don't adopt anybody else's fears, because you're trying to fight your own. Like,
right.
You're trying to fight your own, so you don't have the room and the space to adopt other people's.
Sure don't. I don't need no new baggage. I got enough of my own. But you know what? I'll add to that. I was listening to some podcast where someone said, write your goals in pencil. And it sounds so simple. Like, write your goals in pencil. But truly, because especially as ambitious people, we decide what we're going to do, and we cling on tight to it.
With knuckles turning white.
Hello. And then just, blinders on, and we just, especially me, I'm that type of person. I'm like, I'm on the
Guilty.
blocks, I'm ready,
Same.
I'm go.
Same.
Yeah. So, but write it in pencil, because if I didn't write it in pencil, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I remember when I was in high school, my music teacher was like, Alexis, if you want to go to music school, here's the 2 directions that I think that you would do well at. Nelba Thomas, literally, this is my favorite teacher ever.
Yeah.
My choir teacher all throughout high school. She is the reason why I'm a music snob to some extent. That's another conversation. And I was like, okay, so either performance or education. And I was like, I don't think I would do well with those things, but I feel like I'm supposed to do something that will make me money. So I'm a major in psychology. And my mama was like, Alexis, really? And so here's the thing. I love the way humans interact. I love to think about, to observe the way people think and the way they interact with each other. So that's not like too far off, especially as an actor.
Yeah.
But I remember my mother having my pastor pull me to the side and say, Alexis, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I want to sing. He said, then sing. And my mama made me audition for the School of Music, and I got in. And so I am blessed in that sense that, I had people that weren't telling me not to. I myself was overthinking as a teenager that I needed to do those things. But, even then I had to just not even just write that in pencil, just acknowledge that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so now what am I doing? It's in pencil, so it's the spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Write your goals in pencil. I'm taking that for myself from you. That's my nugget today. Thank you for that. Write it in pencil. I will say I am learning that. Because I, for the longest time, have very much been this is my goal and this is how I'm going to do it and da-da-da-da. And then once the world got turned upside down in 2020, it was like, you have no other choice but to pivot. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, I kind of like this though, actually. Okay.
Oh, this feels good.
Yes.
All I had to do was release the grip.
Release the grip. Ooh. That seems to be the hardest part, doesn't it?
Yes. That is the hardest part, because that's where the fear is connected.
Yeah. It is.
What happens when I release my grip? Is it all going to fall apart? Am I going to all of a sudden be living on the streets? Because, I have to be in control of this thing. And also as Black women, we really, the stakes are what they are for us, because we don't get the option to fail. And then when we do fail, it's like I told you. And when we succeed, nobody cares. But
that's a whole nother conversation we can have for Patreon. Oh no, we can have
Patreon.
But I'll put it on the Patreon page. We can have a whole conversation about that.
Come on, paywall.
Okay, we'll have we could schedule that in. We'll have a whole let's put a pin in that. That'll be on Patreon.
We'll put a pin in that.
But yes, and it's one of those 99% of the time things don't fall apart when you let go. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. But it's like a cycle. It's like, but don't you remember that last time when you let go, it didn't fall apart? So why are we back at the clenching on? Like, why?
My God.
Why are we back? Because it's been proven. You have proof that it didn't fall apart. And I know that, so there's this analogy that I really, really like. And I've heard it a couple years ago, actually, from my therapist, where it was like, we get set, we get ready, we put a parachute like on our back. We're, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do it. And then we jump and we realize it was a 2-inch sidewalk. So what were you up in arms about? All you had to do was step off the sidewalk, but you're here with a parachute and a helmet and a countdown and all of this. And all you had to do was step off the sidewalk. I'll be like, you know what? You know what? Please don't come for me, okay? I'm doing my best.
Mind your business, therapist. Right. Mind your business.
Mind your business. I know this is what I'm paying you for, but mind your business.
Right. I had a therapist tell me, Alexis, you're in crisis mode, but there's no crisis yet. And I was like, ooh. But, I'm like, but when there is a crisis, I'll be ready. Right, she's like, no, you're bringing the crisis on.
Ooh.
Relax.
Ooh.
I had the parachute, honey. I had the helmet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just to jump off to the curb. Mm-hmm. From the curb to the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel that. That personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Mm-mm-mm. Y'all. Alexis, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
So much for sharing. I would like to know where everybody can find you out here on the interwebs.
Okay, in these internet streets.
Uh-huh.
You can catch me on Instagram, Tiny Tidwell, Tiny, Tiny, Tidwell, Tidwell. My website, alexistidwell.com. I have a YouTube channel that has some things on it, Pretty sure that's Alexis Tidwell of some sort. I have a TikTok. It's got like 2 videos on it. Maybe I don't know if they're going to actually ban that thing, but maybe I'll get that, going. But Instagram, find me on Instagram, y'all. I'm on Threads too, but again, Instagram.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Insta. Okay. Don't worry, everybody. I will put that in the show notes so you have it and it's easily clickable. And Alexis, I must say to you that I acknowledge you, I celebrate you, and I uplift you.
Mm-hmm. And back to you, sister. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
Same. This podcast is produced by Ayana Major Bay. Editor is Kieran Niement. Theme song lyrics written by Ayana Major Bay and Melissa Victor, with performance by Ayana Major Bay. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
Part of the Boundless Audio Podcast Network.